Your Excellency, Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Excellency, the very distinguished Senator Kashim Shettima, Excellency, President of the Senate and his representative here present, Representative of the Right Honorable Speaker of the House of Representatives, the Deputy Secretary General of the United Nations, Her Excellency Amina Mohammed, number 2 World Civil Servant, Your Excellency, Chairperson of the AU Commission, H.E. Mahmoud Ali Yusuf, ECOWAS President and other heads of regional bodies here present, ranking members of the National Assembly with special reference to the Chairman Senate Committee on Defense, Chairman House Committee on Defense, representative of governors here present, a representative of the Kaduna State Governor, Honorable Dr. Sule Shuaibu, SAN, representative Abia Governor, Dr. McDonald Uba, retired, special advisor to the Abia State Governor on Security, members of the Nigerian Federal Executive Council, the Honorable Minister of Defense, Alhaji Muhammad Badaru, the Honorable Minister of State Defense, Dr. Muhammad Bello Matawale, representative of the Foreign Affairs Minister, representative of the FCT Minister, our host, the Nigerian Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, and his lovely wife, Mrs. Ogogo Musa, President of the Defense and Police Officers' Wives Association, here with all members of her team, Africa Chiefs of Defense Staff, our very special guests, we sincerely welcome you. Professor Ibrahim Gambari, teacher, mentor, Foreign Affairs Minister, former of Nigeria, representing Nigeria at the United Nations, and former Chief of Staff to former President Buhari, Nigerian Service Chiefs, Lieutenant General Olufemi Oluyede, the Chief of Army Staff, Air Marshal Hassan Abubakar, the Chief of the Air Staff, Vice Admiral Emmanuel Ogala, the Chief of the Naval Staff, representative of the Inspector General of Police, and I'd like to place on record that all service chiefs have arrived here with their lovely wives, and of course we also have the wife of the Inspector General of Police here with us, heads of security agencies here present, former chiefs of defense staff and former service chiefs here present, members of the diplomatic corps in their numbers who have joined us today, heads of international organizations here present, and head of the UN body in Nigeria, partners and sponsors, leadership of the private sector, members of the academia, speakers, moderators, and panelists here today, esteemed invited guests, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I warmly welcome you to this much needed, all-important Made in African Chiefs of Defense Staff Summit taking place at the Bola Ahmed Tinubu International Conference Center in the nation's bespoke capital, Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory. My name is Eugenia Abu. I'm a Nigerian national broadcaster, media entrepreneur, multimedia strategist, writer, and consultant, and I shall be your Director of Ceremonies today. Your Excellencies, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Nigeria's President, His Excellency Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, in representation today, in the person of His Excellency, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the President at the opening of the Chief of Defense Staff Joint Task Force Commanders Conference, represented at the time by Nigeria's Minister of Defense, Alhaji Badaru, described that conference as timely and expedient, especially in a security landscape which is dynamic and constantly evolving. President Tinubu added, the necessity for enhanced collaboration among the various armed forces and different security agencies. In a profound quote many years ago, the iconic African leader and Africa's elder statesman, President Nelson Mandela, said, and I quote, "Safety and security don't just happen. They are the result of collective consensus and public investment," unquote. It is clear that in security matters, collaboration, jointness, technology, strategy, and the whole of society approach is a sine qua non for enhanced security across the African sub-region. This jointness, this collaboration, is the thrust for this all-important African Chiefs of Defense Staff Summit 2025, hosted in chief by Africa's most populous nation, with Nigeria's Chief of Defense Staff sitting in the chair as the host for this all-encompassing Made in African Chiefs of Defense Staff Summit 2025. But we cannot begin this conference without talking about security measures as it covers us in this room. And I'll therefore like to request media to please play the security clip for all of us to see so that we are well secured in this room. Media, if you
Distinguished dignitaries, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Bola Ahmed Tinubu International Conference Center, Abuja. Before we commence today's proceedings, please listen carefully to the safety brief. We are presently located in the Africa Hall of the Bola Ahmed Tinubu International Conference Center. There are 6 emergency exit doors in this hall, which are clearly indicated above each door, 2 on each side of the hall and 1 at the front of the hall from its main entrance, and the other at the back of the hall behind the stage. In the event of any emergency, the alarm system will go off and the siren will be heard. Please follow the illuminated exit sign to the nearest exit. VIPs in the front rows will be expected to exit using the front exit, while other guests and dignitaries will be expected to exit through the side and rear exits. All are to exit the hall and assemble at the monster point in between the water fountain and runabout containing national flags at the entrance into the Bola Ahmed Tinubu International Conference Center, as well as the first 2 car parks as indicated. In the event of fire, please remain calm and follow the instructions of venue staff. Fire extinguishers are located throughout this venue. Additional guidance for all participants. Behind the stage and straight ahead is the VVIP's break room, located in the Godswill Apabios Hall, which is to your left-hand side, and directly opposite the break room is the VVIP's lunchroom, located in the Tajuddin Abbas Hall on the right. There is VVIP's restroom adjacent the break room. These areas are designated for VVIP and other important invited dignitaries. For all other summit participants, a lunchroom has also been provided. This can be accessed through any of the exit doors on your left from the Africa Hall or from the outside the hall through the designated entry point. All sessions after the opening ceremony will be held in the plenary hall, also known as the Kashim Shettima Hall, which is located to your left when accessing the conference center foyer just before the Africa Hall. Furthermore, just before entering the hall from the main entrance to your right, you will also find an additional restroom and conveniences accessible to all attendees. For those who would like a quick snack, staircases on both your right and left at the foyer lead directly to the Wiki's Cafe. Finally, throughout the center, you will discover a wide range of exhibition booths showcasing products and services. For further information and clarification, please contact the ushers in the hall.
which is a sight for sore eyes. Also, I'd like to introduce you to our ushers. You can't miss them. They are wearing orange-colored dresses. And so if you needed to find out where the conveniences are, they would be the ones. I'd also like to crave your indulgence to put your phones on silent. so that we can have a truly robust engagement today. I'd like to put on record that we have former Senate presidents here and former ministers and former members of the Nigerian National Assembly who have all come for this all-important gathering. I dare say that our guests, our very special guests, African chiefs of defense and their aides have arrived in their numbers here. Your Excellency, our special guest of honor, sir, I'd like to crave your indulgence to give them a resounding Abuja round of applause. I wish to sincerely welcome you, and I hope that your arrival yesterday indicated to you the high level of hospitality that Nigeria is well known for, that you were well taken care of, and that you tried some of our more gourmet cuisines, including our swallow, and perhaps a little bit of pepper soup with some spice in it. Be careful. You need to really find out the temperature of the spice before you try it. But the jollof rice, as is always said, and I know that the Ghanaian delegation is here, the Nigerian one is leading. I can say that for sure. I believe so. Not just because I'm Nigerian, but I've tried jollof rice in Nairobi, and I've tried the jollof rice in Ghana. I've tried also in Lomé and in Senegal, and I know that Nigeria trumps all the jollof rices. Let's accept that today. Having said that, Your Excellency, our special guest of honor, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let me take this opportunity to introduce our guests, African chiefs of defense, who have arrived here with us, and the representatives of the various delegations across the various countries. I'd like to start with the representative of the Chief of Defense Staff, Egypt, Major General Bibas Wala Adel Abel Farag. Can we see by a show of hand if you're here? Let's give you a round of applause. We welcome you. We thank you for coming. We welcome Colonel Ramadan Ahmed Elbaz Ramadan, who is also on the Egyptian entourage. Permit me to take immediately Somalia, whose head of delegation is Major General Odawa Yusuf Ragi. He's here with us. Thank you so much. We see you. Would like to also quickly welcome Brigadier General Abdul Karim Neja, representative of Morocco Inspector General. Welcome, sir. It's good to see you. Shall I then welcome General Jacob John Mkunda, Chief of Defense Forces, Tanzania. Habari yako, sir. Welcome. Thank you. Would like to welcome Major General Guy Blanchard Okoye, Chief of Defense Staff, Congo Brazzaville. I'd like to welcome Colonel Longoda Christian, who is on that entourage. I'd like to welcome Major General Kaliba Tati Bernard, representative of Chief of Defense Forces, Democratic Republic of Congo. Lieutenant General Kayanja Muhanga, representative of Chief of Defense Forces, Uganda. Let me welcome His Excellency Julio dos Santos Jane, Chief of Defense Staff, Mozambique. It's time to welcome now Mohamed El Mokhtar Sheikh Mani, representative of Mauritania Armed Forces. Welcome. Major General Guila Zubir, Algerian delegation. Major General Lanjed Hamani, Tunisian delegation head. General Daou Atujong Newell Daou, CDF, South Sudan. Lieutenant General George Alexander Jaffu, representing CDF, Malawi. Major General Mamadou Zephyrin, Central African Republic, head of team. Brigadier General João Pedro Soares Gomez Cravid, Sao Tome and Principe. Colonel Mohamed Elmi Habane, Djibouti, head of team. Colonel Ali Abdurrahman Didi, Chief of Army Staff, representing the COS Sahrawi. Brigadier General Yusuf Idi Jihadi, representing Comoros as head of delegation. I'd like to greet and welcome Brigadier General Melingi Numa Donatain, representing Chief of Defense Staff, Cameroon. Please help me welcome Major General Aktofel Ndegu Nambahu, representing CDF, Namibia. Lieutenant General Ziele, Commander of Zambian Army. Help me greet and welcome General Mafwanya, South Africa Chief of Defense Forces. And we have Brigadier General E.N. Shabangu, representative of the Commodore Eswatini Defense Force. Eswatini. There he is. Colonel Major Sunana Kalkoye, representative of Niger CDS. Lieutenant General Birhanu Bekele, representative of CDS Ethiopia. General Abakar Abdul Karim Daud, Chief of Defense Staff, Chad. Lieutenant General El Haddad Mohammed, Chief of Defense Forces. Major General Samuel Fernandez, Guinea-Bissau. Lieutenant General William Agapong, Chief of Defense Staff, Ghana. General C.A. Bagwidi, Chief of Defense Staff, Benin Republic. Lieutenant General Mamat O.A. Cham, Chief of Defense Staff, the Gambia. Colonel Kezali Gilewu Gwesa, representative of Chief of Staff, Liberia. Lieutenant General Mbaye Sisse, CGS Armed Forces of the Senegal. Lieutenant General Amara Idara Bangura, Chief of Defense Staff, Sierra Leone. General Kasawa Kolemaga, Chief of Defense Staff, Togo. And Lieutenant General Ibrahima Sori Bangura, Chief of Defense Staff, Guinea. Your Excellency, special guest of honor, sir, Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, on my listing, these are the people who are here with their entourage and they are in their numbers. Other delegates are coming, and once they arrive here, we will update you. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, this is a Africa Chiefs of Defense Staff Summit 2025, and I deliberately decided to wear a dress that has a surprise in the back. Security is about surprising your enemies. So I decided that what should have looked like the front is that is, of all intent and purposes, a dress that symbolizes security, which is what I wore. So when I step down, you might be able to see the back of my dress, but now everything seems normal. Surprise your enemy is what security forces say. I think I've passed. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it's time to break the ice before we invite our host to speak to us. Please allow me to introduce a poet performer. Sharifa Ibrahim Zarma is an author and poet whose voice resonates with themes of resilience, culture, and hope. Through her writings and performances, Sharifa inspires diverse audiences with her unique blend of storytelling, artistry, and advocacy. Her poetry today is about unity is your strongest armor and the celebration of the Nigerian Armed Forces, and overall about celebrating security. Let's give her a warm Abuja welcome as she makes her walk. It's a long walk, so please let's keep clapping as she makes her way to the podium. Thank you very much. She's a poet. She's not a soldier, so she walks like a poet. If she was a soldier, she'll be walking a little more. So welcome to you, and I look forward, as we all do, to your poem today.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Sharifa Ibrahim Zerma. Please permit me to stand on already established protocols. Before I proceed, I would like to pay tribute to the armed forces. For one to choose this path of profession, this is the utmost act of priority any human will choose for his country. For you gave your blood, sweat, and tears so we would see another day. You gave up the certainty of your future to secure ours. You gave so much that only you know the length and depth. You put your lives in peril innumerably in ways no civilian could dare to stand. We can never repay you or thank you enough, and words will never be enough. But all we can say is history will never forget your names, and the hands of time can never unwrite your service. So, as an African, it is my greatest honor to stand amongst you, honorable leaders, soldiers, warriors, and patriots of your country. And on behalf of all, that we appreciate you and we thank you for your service. Here goes my poem. Nigeria, my beloved country, Africa, the great continent. From time immemorial, our borders were not accidents of chance, but divine brushstrokes on a living canvas. A continent conceived in unity, spun together not as fragments, but as one fabric of destiny. And so, to tear one thread is to weaken the whole. We are at a junction which takes flight to a destination where no nation should stand alone. Inclusivity should walk with might, not just might, but hold hands with hope. That our collaborative partnerships begin to delink selected areas. No longer shall we patch security with scattered threads. Let every hand pull the fabric together that intertwines our destinies. For this great fabric of unique tribes possessing infinite resources, from wisdom to will, from deserts to forests, and savannas to coasts, our soldiers stand one heartbeat, one shield. Warriors of today, custodians of tomorrow. Your service is the unseen thread that hold Africa's fabric whole. To the fallen whose blood became seed, we sing of your courage, eternal indeed. You rest in the soul, yet live in our souls. Guardians of peace, your names woven in Africa's immortal memory, imprinted eternally in strength. Now we gather in the summit's light to fight collective strength against the night, to face new threats with unity's embrace and craft homegrown solutions for Africa's space, where private hands and public shades combine, for peace secured, our destinies align. Let us stand together against terror, cyber shadows, and unrest calls. Our unity became the armor for all. Let us not borrow scripts, but visions we sow. From Africa's soil, our strategies grow. Let us tap from the coder's code to builders' hands, as industry strengthens the soldier's hands. For peace is the seed from which the future blooms, and security light the nation's path. Thank you.
Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for Sharifa as she has delivered for us the essence of what it means to be unified, what it means to be secure, and what it means to work in the armed forces of any country to ensure that all the work that we do is well captured. I do not think that we spend enough time celebrating members of the forces. I think one of the nations that does it so well is the United States of America. And if you meet any of them who has served, whether they are retired or they are serving, they say, we thank you for your service. All the citizens of that country know how to thank our people for their service, for keeping us secure. Let's hear another round of applause for all those gathered here for security. We salute your service. We thank you for the work that you do. We had done some introductions much earlier in the day, and we're very pleased that all our security agencies are here. We have the Director General of State Services, Mr. Oluwatosin Adeola Ajayi, who is here with us. We thank you for joining us for this very important summit. It's now time to listen to the welcome remarks by the convener and chief host, a people-centric general whose leadership philosophy is to nurture a professional armed forces of Nigeria that is people-centric, collaborative, and capable of meeting its constitutional responsibilities in a joint environment. A one-time commander of the largest military operations in Nigeria, Operation Lafia Dole, a former commander of the largest corps in the Nigerian Army, the Infantry Corps, chairman of the ECOWAS Committee of the Chief of Defense Staff, a firm believer and key driver of the renewed hope agenda of Mr. President, help me welcome the 18th Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Gwab Musa, to formally welcome our esteemed guests as he makes his way up. Let's celebrate him.
Thank you very much, my great auntie. It's good to see you again.
Always a pleasure.
The President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, ably represented by our own there, the Vice President, His Excellency Senator Kashim Shettima, GCON, the Senate President, His Excellency Distinguished Senator Godswill Akpabio, GCON, represented by Senator Ahmed Lawan, the Deputy Secretary General, United Nations, Hajia Amina J. Mohammed, GCON, distinguished members of the National Assembly here present, Your Excellencies, Executive Governors and their representatives, the Honorable Minister of State Defense, members of the Federal Executive Council, Chiefs of Defense Staff and Defense Forces from Africa, my brothers, Service Chiefs and Inspector General of Police, the Chairperson of African Union, the ECOWAS Chairman, heads of security agencies and paracels, former Chiefs of Defense Staff and Service Chiefs, heads of corporate organizations, heads of military establishments, captains of industry, very senior military and paramilitary officers, both serving and retired, members of the summit, members of diplomatic corps, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen. It is with immense honor and great pleasure that I welcome you all to Abuja, the heart of Nigeria, for this historic inaugural African Chiefs of Defense Staff Summit on this very wonderful day, the 25th of August, 2025. On behalf of the President, Commander-in-Chief.
Right. The Nigerian Minister of State Defense will come and speak for the defense architecture of Nigeria. Thank you very much. Please, let's celebrate him as he makes his way to the podium. Thank you very much.
The President, Commander-in-Chief of Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, ably represented by the Vice President, His Excellency Senator Kashim Shettima, GCON. The Senate President, His Excellency Distinguished Senator Godswill Akpabio, GCON, represented by Senator Ahmed Lawal. The Speaker, House of Representatives, who is represented by Honorable Kalambaina, the Deputy Secretary General, United Nations, Haja Amina J. Mohammed, GCON, distinguished members of National Assembly here present, Your Excellencies, Executive Governors and their representatives here present, members of the Federal Executive Councils, Chief of Defense Staff and Defense Forces from African countries, Service Chiefs and Inspectors General of Police, the Chairperson of African Union, the ECOWAS Chairman, Head of Security Agencies and Parastatals, former Chief of Defense Staff and Service Chiefs, Head of Corporate Organization, Head of Military Establishment, Captain of Industries, very senior military and paramilitary officers, both serving and retired, partners of it is both an honor and a duty to address this distinguished gathering of Africa's military leadership to protect Africa's peace and security. This summit is more than meeting, it's a bold statement of our collective commitment to a stronger, more united Africa. Our continent is facing serious and evolving terrorism and insurgency to cyber and security. These challenges are complex, transnational, and increasingly asymmetric. Tackling them required not just national resilience, but also strong continental cooperation. Today, we take an important step forward. We affirm that Africa's security must be driven by African solutions, African leadership, and African unity. Nigeria has always played a leading role in promoting regional peace and stability. Our armed forces have been across Africa. We remain committed to strengthening our defense partnership, both bilateral reflects our belief that no single country can secure the continent alone. We must work together, sharing intelligence, aligning doctrine, and building trust among defense institutions. The future of warfare is digital, fast-moving, and unpredictable. As defense leaders, we must embrace innovation, we must invest in cyber defense, artificial intelligence, and indigenous military technologies. Africa must not just keep up with global trends, we must take the lead in shaping them. Let this summit serve as a platform planning. Let us build defense institutions that are agile and ready summit to become a regular event. Let it be institutionalized as an annual platform for strategic dialogue, coordinations, and professional exchange. Let us from working groups and task forces to sustain the momentum. Beyond this gathering, let us build a continent where peace is permanent and our armed forces stand as a and progress. I must also acknowledge His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for his outstanding leadership and continued support to the armed forces of Nigeria. I also commend the Chief of Defense Staff, General C.J. Musa, for his exceptional leadership and foresight in organizing this inaugural African Chiefs of Defense Staff Summit. His commitment to regional cooperation, operational excellence, and continental